Okay, now that we have our top done, we're going to try to get a border on it just so we can use up some more of our fabric and just kind of finish it off and make it a little bit more elaborate, I guess you could say. So to start with, we have, or I should say, I have 6 squares left. So what I'm going to do is 4 of them are on the corner. 2 of these are going to be on my long side here in the middle. You wonder what's in my mind? So do I. Anyway, we're going to start. I have a scrap of this and a scrap of the flamingo. I'm going to take the flamingo and I'm going to run it across the top and the bottom. My other one I have a little bit more of because I also have this other little stray piece here. And I'm going to run it along my sides, and I think it'll look better that way. Typically I would say do all the sides the same color, such as on that quilt right there, you can see the solids right there, and then there's a print, and then there's a solid with just a simple, super simple border. But not all of them are going to be super simple borders. In this case it is, but you know, it's going to be maybe more than I bargained for, but it's okay. So to start with, I measured my tops. Thought they were supposed to be 12-inch blocks. They are not. My 4 squares down is about 42 inches. 4 times 12, which is a foot, is not 42. I know that much math. So at this point, I think I'm just going to kind of wing it. However, my little squares here measured 4 1/4, I believe. Yep, 4 1/4 squares. So we're going to cut 4 1/4 inch strips on our other pieces to make it. And because they are random pieces, it's going to, we're just throwing it together, hodgepodge, and as we go. And that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta throw whatever together and it'll turn out in the end. It's not a big deal. So I'm going to start with this one. And these are not even, like right here, because those cut out for something else a long time ago. Not a biggie. So we're going to do that. Come back around here. We're going to do 4 1/4. So we're going to line it up on our line here. Find 4. Mark 1/4. And I have no idea why I'm in the middle of this. Let's try an easier way some days. Okay. So mark my 4 1/4, my 4 1/4, stretches across, nice and good like that. One strip, actually there's 2 strips. This one won't be as long because of the little parts there, but that's okay. May not need it that long. In the end. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4, yes. Bam, there's a big old spot. And then, just to keep things simple, I'm going to cut this off so I have a straight edge to work with. Okay. Alright, and then we're going to come over here. We're going to do it very similar, but not quite, because we need them to go a different way. I'm going to do it differently. So make sure that's at least 4 1/4, yes. Over here, snip off this end. said, these are just going to be pieced together pretty rough, but it'll be alright. Over here, a 4 1/4, line it up. Yeah, I could have gone a lot further on that because I got 1/2 inch I could have used. That's okay. Then I think we're going to make us some straight edges. Straight edges are good. Cockeyed ones are bad. So then we have a strip that can go halfway across the top. We'll have to put a couple of them together. Hope that we have enough. It should be okay. So I'll probably take a long piece and a short piece and a little bit, put them together for it. And let's just roll it like this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4, 4 1/4. So line up my notches. And one more, just to make sure that we have enough cut and we may still have fabric left. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. Okay. Thought I was losing it further for a second. Okay. Okay. Next step is pretty simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to piece these together. My flamingo strips, because they are top and bottom. I'm going to piece these together and then I'm going to sew them across the top of the quilt before I move on to my other piece. You can see they're all different lengths. Not a big deal. We just got to put them together. Alright. So we put those together on the ends right here. Again, it's not terribly noticeable. Typically, you know, avoid it. Use the biggest pieces that you have. But when you're doing scrap, you know, it's scrap. Alright. So you can easily see that it is plenty long enough. So now we have to decide which way is the top, which way is the bottom. But this one does not matter. Since this is here, I'm just going to go up here and pin it. And since I have straight edges, I can just start at one side and pin it straight across. Like so. And you can see it's going to be like that in places, but that's okay. When you get into more intricate borders, you'll have to line it up just like the blocks. But since we're not doing intricate borders and this is supposed to be smooth, we're not going to worry about that doesn't line up. You can line it up if you want, but it's not necessary because it's not that noticeable. And since we have our one-way fabric because of our flamingos, they're going to be facing up. Then when I go to the bottom, pin it the same way, only we're going to make sure that our flamingos are going up, and just for a change, we're going to start at this side. Nope. I'll have to do this side, okay. For the direction it runs through the sewing machine, it matters which side you pin it, or start pinning it. Because it'll come from this side. So after I get it pinned, I'm going to just run it through the sewing machine next. Okay, now that we've got it all sewed on, we ironed it so it's nice and smooth. Just going to go over here, lop off the ends so we don't have to worry about that. On both sides here. And we're about to get to the fun part now. By fun part, I mean, we're going to see if it actually works because I'm totally winging it. Normally, we would measure it and everything else, but my measuring skills haven't been the best lately, so I don't trust it. So, we're totally winging it. So, since we're going to do the corners, our corners are going to be up here, and I think that one's supposed to be down there. Pretty sure. Alright, so when the corners are done, we got to put them up here. So we're going to leave that there for now. And we're going to get my middle piece. The middle piece I think we're going to do this on this side. Maybe. We're going to take one of our long pieces. Oh yeah, we got plenty. Look here. And we're going to sew our middle part in. Let me double check on this side. Since we're wringing it. Oh yeah. We will have plenty of both. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew our middle piece in between our two strips. And the reason I cut this one differently earlier, I cut it up and down rather than across, was because of the way the design ran and everything else, so it'll be easier. Anyway, so let's go do that. Okay, now that they are ironed with this in the middle and between the two strips, we're going to pin them, and because of how we did this, we're going to line it up here and start here with our pinning, then pin all the way down till about right here, because we're not going to go all the way to this just yet, because this is where it gets tricky, is over here on the corner. So let's pin this together now. Okay, once you get down almost to the end here, it'll be easy if you just flop it over, that way you can see how much you actually have here. And then honestly, what I do is you can kind of see where your 1/4 of an inch seam is right there. Go through here with some scissors. Snip, snip, snip. If you can cut a straight line for a couple inches, you're okay. I'm starting to wonder about my cutting abilities too. So, because it's not straight, but that's okay, because here we're going to take our block, make sure that it is going the direction we want. And why is apparently all my flamingos are going to be cockeyed. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just flop it over here. We're going to line it up with the side, not our cockeyed cut. And we're going to pin it and sew it across. And then with the other 4 corners, we're going to sew all those, iron them, and then come back. See, this is sewn on here. This is going to line up, but I'm going to iron it before I finish sewing it up. But once I finish ironing it, I can sew it all up, and all my corners are going to line up now. And it is done. All our corners lined up, our little sides lined up here, our corners there. It turned out pretty cool after all, even winging it.